Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
What was I created for?
You were created to open the gates that separate dimensions. The beast will use your power to return home and seize control of the hell she was banished from.
That's it? That's Glory's master plan? To go home?
You misunderstand. Once the key is activated, it won't just open the gates to the beast dimension. It's going to open all the gates. The walls separating realities will crumble. Dimensions will bleed into each other. Order will be overthrown and the universe will tumble into chaos. All dark. Forever. That is what you were created for.
Howdy, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving a review of our reactions. We're your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
Today we're going over Season 5, Episode 20, titled Spiral, directed by James A. Contner, written by Stephen S. DeKnight. Original air date, May 8th, 2001, to an audience of 5.11 million people. And first things first, everybody, we got a couple freaking shout outs. Got a couple of Spotify shout outs. Got one from Mombi. Thank you so much for your 5-star Spotify review. And then also our Discord user, Ria, aka Maria, gave us a 5-star Spotify review. So thanks so much. If you want to get your very own shout out on the show, what you gotta do, 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review, or a 5-star Spotify rating, and screenshot it and send it to my DMs at Joe Welke. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. I think that's all that we need to talk about up top.
I do have an announcement to make. We are coming to the end of Season 5.
Yes, we are.
And last season, we did a listener poll. And I just want to announce that we will, again, be doing a listener poll where you can rank your favorite episodes of this season, your favorite episodes of the podcast this season, Joe's Fashion Corner /report.
Oh, he
report
bought in,
corner.
Everybody. He bought in.
I think it should just be corner, but I don't have the energy to fight it, to fight the bad marketing. So you can pick the best dress of the season, and then send in some questions for us, questions about the show, whatever, some listener Q&A. So that poll will probably go up right. We do that for the recap episode that's after the season. So that'll probably get posted on Discord maybe the week of and the week before we record that. And it will be in the show notes of the last episode of the season, which we will remind you then. But I just wanted to give people a heads up in case you wanted to go back and start watching the season, re-listening to the podcast, whatever makes it easy for you.
Honestly, I know that we do the recaps at the end of the seasons. I completely forgot that we do that until just now. And I got such an overwhelming sense of dread because I have to remember everything that so much has happened in this season.
I know. This is Dracula and Body Double Xander season.
Yeah. and Riley leaving. Like, so much shit has happened. A person that was in the opening credits is gone halfway through this season.
Yes. Like, so,
wild.
Yeah, it's always a lot to go back and look through all this, especially for us who are going through it, you know, chronologically. This isn't like rewatches for us, so we have to then backtrack. But it's good to get a little recap, because otherwise we just be moving forward. But yeah, the poll was a success last year. So last season,
yeah, I
should
loved
say.
The poll.
Yeah.
Loved the poll. Loved your guys' feedback. Always fun to have that going on. Speaking of your guys' feedback, join our Discord. We have some lively combos going on in there. And yeah, we got our dues. You got your due ready, bud?
I got my due. Let's crack
We're in the fucking Mountain Dew
Baja
era of the pod, baby. Hell yeah. Baja blasting it up. Thanks, Tofu Lover.
Cheers.
And cheers it up, baby. Clink, clink. Oh, man. I feel like people heard us drinking that time, and I hate it.
It might be edited. Well, I'll leave it in since you mentioned it. Here's what I'm going to say. I got something very controversial to say about the dew.
Okay.
I think I prefer Major Melon.
You prefer Major Melon? Wow. All right.
You gave me one extra Major Melon that was left over when you dropped off these Baja Blast Energy Mountain Dew Zeros or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I had the Baja after the last episode, and then the next day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just, instead of having a coffee, I'm just gonna drink this one Major Melon, right? And I had it, and I was like, man, this might be the one. The Major Melon might be the one for me.
Well, I love them all. I like Major Melon. I like Baja Blast. In fact, I went to Taco Bell last night and got a Baja Blast Zero, and I didn't drink it all, and it's sitting in my refrigerator. So I'm having the Baja Energy. I got a Baja Zero. I'm fucking getting blasted lately, dude.
Yeah, I thought you would have a lot more pushback on maybe not being the biggest fan of the Baja.
I mean,
I'm surprised you're a fan of the tropical lime.
I mean, I love Baja Blast, dude. It's so good. It's incredible. But I mean,
have you ever had?
I'm just happy that you're appreciating the dew. I'm appreciating that you're doing the dew.
Well, they're there. I mean, if you give me anything, I'm gonna eat or drink it.
Yeah,
I'm not that particular. Have you ever had a virgin margarita?
I don't think so.
For new listeners,
like
Joe is a rampant non-drinker.
Rampant. Yeah, I don't drink or smoke or anything.
He's a recovering sober.
Yeah. Does it taste like Baja Blast? Does a margarita?
Well, I'm just thinking like you might, if you like the lime flavor and tropicalness of it, you know, a daiquiri maybe.
Oh, I love daiquiris. I get virgin daiquiris.
All right, there we go. Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you like Spiral, Vance? The episode of Buffy that we're talking about today.
My least favorite question that you asked at the beginning of every I thought this episode was like last episode. I was like, oh, I think this is fine. And I went on and I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually a good one. So it's always hard because I watch it and I don't think about it at all until we do the podcast, really.
Yeah.
This one was okay though. I mean, we got some stuff. I mean, it felt like a bridge episode, really. It was like a bridge one.
I feel like my predictions were pretty on point. I don't know if I predicted that the Knights of Byzantium were going to come back, but I definitely mentioned them. Like, where the fuck are those guys?
Well, I listened to a little bit of our predictions from last episode, and this is you jokingly reference Riley showing up with the bazooka to save the day.
Oh, does get referenced.
It gets referenced. Riley gets referenced, and the bazooka rocket launcher gets referenced. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure you brought up the Knights. I thought we might have went on a rant about them never showing up, but they're here.
Yep, they made it back in. I think my predictions for Angel were pretty spot on it as well.
And I predicted that we learn what the key actually does this episode, which I don't want to take too much credit for it because we're running out of episodes. So you have to at some point tell us what this thing does.
Hey, I'll give you the credit for it.
Yeah.
But we do find out that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the episode opens with a huge, long recap about basically everything that's had gone on in season 5. The monks, the glory, the Dawn being the key, Spike in love with Buffy, Knights of Byzantium, Tara having her mind melted, and Glory finding out that Dawn is the key. And we open up right where the last episode leaves off, where Glory is ripped off the wall of whatever building they're in. And
apparently they're in the dorm.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand.
That's what I think I said that.
I think you did. I didn't know that they had a chalkboard wall. Like,
maybe that's why Tara's room always looked so dark. Like, her room is always so fucking dark, dude.
Yeah, I thought she just had, like, you know, the sheets over the windows, you know, the like the black, kind of like blackout curtains, and those like red ones to like make a different lighting in there. I didn't think her wall was like you could just write on it.
Yeah. But Gloria's ripped off the wall, and she's, you know, I told you this wasn't over. Tara says, "Oh, I see this glowing, beautiful green energy coming off Dawn." And Glory puts 2 and 2 together, figures out that Dawn is the key. Buffy runs off with Dawn. Glory goes to chase Buffy and Dawn, but Willow does a spell that just chucks Glory away. She does the molasses freeze thing, and then just throws her. Why wasn't she using that spell the whole time?
Well, my first note was that Willow is powerful as shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like, she's just like one-handing a god away from her, like, while holding on to her like adult girlfriend. I'm like, that is so much power. Like, do that and like have Buffy punch, and I don't know, like, do some more chants, lock her in a box or something. Like, I don't know.
Dude, it took her like no effort to do. Like, she just said like 3 words and then moved her hand, and Glory went flying. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, how are you not using this? Maybe it's because now she's in touch with the darkest magic.
I guess all it took was reading that book for 2 seconds.
Having it blow in your face.
Yeah. She was speed reading it. That's why the pages were flipping.
So Buffy and Dawn are running through the dorm room, and Glory just bursts through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man at a certain point, and then she does a super speed run to chase Buffy, which we've never seen before.
Yeah, I wrote down Glory has super speed? What?
Yeah. It was like they had just seen the Phantom Menace and saw that the Jedi were doing that.
Yeah, it's like what you see in The Flash if you ever watch a CW show. I've only seen like the commercials for it, and it's like where she's moving fast, but she's not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's like there's that trail behind her, like she's moving fast, but she's just running at a normal speed.
Like, if you're going that fast, you should have caught up with Buffy already.
I know, right? So Buffy's like running across campus now, and Glory's got her super speed going. Dawn, of course, does the horror movie trip and fall.
Dawn falls and then goes, and Buffy's like, "Get up," and she's like, "I can't." And I'm like, Dawn, you're 14. Like, it's no way your cardio is that bad. It's no way. You just got outside.
I just don't know why she couldn't. Like, did she break her ankle? No. But it doesn't happen.
She's just like, "I won't."
And I love that Buffy is just like, "Well, fuck off, dude," and just picks her up and just carries her.
This is happening on campus too. Like,
right? In front of people.
When
Glory just bursted through a wall.
Like the Kool-Aid
in front
Man.
of like 20 people.
Yeah, it's just,
oh yeah.
Just, it's so crazy. Yeah.
Have you seen that like old pro wrestling clip of the Shockmaster?
No.
Oh my god, dude. The Shockmaster was this big behemoth type wrestler, and he had a glittery stormtrooper helmet on. And this isn't like WWF, WCW, like one of the big territories at the time. This isn't like cheapo bullshit. But he had a glittery stormtrooper helmet and a furry vest. And he was supposed to burst through a wall as his like intro. but he burst through the wall and there was like a support beam at the bottom and he tripped over it, falls flat on his face. His helmet flies off. He grabs the helmet, puts it back on, and then he has this like voiceover going on. It's like, you want to mess with me? I'm the Shockmaster. And like everyone's dude, you have to see the Shockmaster.
Right,
it's like one of the most legendary clips of all time. And I think Bill Burr like did a breakdown of it on like Opie and Anthony like 20 years ago or some shit. But yeah, Glory does a Shockmaster.
I love that you found a more obscure way to reference what she did. Oh, the Kool-Aid Man. I guess I get that. Yeah.
I said the Kool-Aid Man first.
I know. And then you're like, well, the Shockmaster.
The Shockmaster is what went wrong when it goes wrong. But Buffy's carrying Dawn across campus, but Glory easily catches up and just goes in front of him. He's like, what are you doing? You thought you could run away from me? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, that's my key. Give me the key. And Buffy is just like, truck. And Glory's like, what? Duck? Why would I duck? I'm a hell god. And Buffy goes, no, truck. And then Glory just gets fucking hit by a truck.
It is the thing I've brought up since probably season 1. One, we get silent truck. A truck. I don't even know where this truck is coming from and at what speed would you keep going. And it doesn't slow down. It doesn't honk. Dude. You don't hear the brakes when it hits what it appears to be a woman.
Yeah.
And
it's like on a residential street too. Yeah. And it looks like it's going like 40. Like
it looked like it
on
was
a
like
college campus.
It looked like it's how you turn into the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh
and
my God.
And you can hear a truck. You can hear it. Like it's loud. Yeah. They're not quiet until they get up on you. They don't sneak up on you.
It wasn't like a truck as in like a pickup truck.
Yeah.
This was like a Mack truck. Like a big fucking truck. Dude.
Does it hit her and do we get the horn? Do we get the
There's some kid on campus doing that like pull down the horn thing. But dude, like I love when that happens. It's like, so funny.
The shot that comes up next is like so fake. It's like her being thrown onto a car, but she's thrown like from like you can almost see that she's jumping from the ground onto the car. Like it's not like she flew in the air and landed. It's like and she's coming from the wrong direction. She's coming from like camera right when she should be coming from camera left. It's just.
It's a clusterfuck. Yeah. But after she lands where she lands, Glory, oh no, not now. This is my body. Stay out of my body. Turns into Ben. And Ben's like, oh, Jesus, what did I get myself into this time? I'm slammed up against a truck.
I really wish we would have just stayed with him. Because I need to see how this all gets rectified. I need to see the truck driver get out of the car and be like, what is going on? Why is there a guy?
Insurance?
Why is there a guy in a dress? Like, who did I hit? Where's the body? Who saw this? The campus? Who ran through this wall? Like, there's so much.
So many unanswered questions.
There's a whole wall got ripped down. Not the one that she came through, but the one that she ripped down to find them.
Yeah.
I
have a question. Does Ben have superpowers, or is he just a guy?
I think from what we learn later, he's just a guy.
Okay.
All
right.
I'll dive into that. We can dive into that a little bit later.
Cool. So yeah, then we get the old intro song, and then we go to Dawn telling the Scoobies about the whole chase thing. She's like, Buffy was so freaking awesome. She was so cool. You know, Glory was chasing us. She ripped down a wall, and then Willow did this cool spell, and then Buffy picked me up because I tripped and I couldn't get up for whatever reason, and then she carried me. And then Glory showed up. She caught up. She got super speed now, and she's like, hey, I'm here to kill you. And then Buffy's like, truck. And then a truck like hit her, and then everyone's like, whoa, Buffy, that's so fucking cool that you beat Glory up. Did you throw her into the truck? And Dawn's like, well, I mean, no. It's kind of more like just a truck kind of hit Glory, and Buffy really didn't do anything except for recognize that a truck was coming. And they're like, I mean, that's still pretty cool. Glory's incapacitated. And Buffy's just staring out the window like, no, she's not, you idiots. She's a god.
Yeah, Buffy's like, I don't know why she's not after us. That truck couldn't have slowed her down that much. I'm like, how are you punching her at all if a truck wasn't supposed to slow her down a little bit?
Right?
But yeah, like, so she doesn't see him turn into Dr. Intern Ben. So she's just wondering what's happening. And I don't know why the plan was to go to Xander's.
Yeah, I don't know. Has Glory been to Xander's? Oh, the Jinxes have been to Xander's.
Has Glory been to the dorm? like she found him at the dorm. Yeah,
that's true.
Like, yeah, I'd be like, we need to be in some warehouse or something, like some back alley. Maybe the place where Xander confronted her about Riley. You know, that little alley.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's behind the magic shop. I have no idea. Yeah.
But Buffy's looking out the window and she's all pissed. She's like, Glory knows that Dawn is the key now. That's bad news. And everyone's like, I mean, we did just kind of, you pushed her in front of a truck. And she's like, that's not a factor at all. And that's not good. This is not a good situation. I don't know why you guys are all happy. I didn't even fucking push her in front of the truck, dude. This is a Regina George situation. All right. I just was close to it. And then Xander is like, well, how did we beat all these gods and demons last time? We could use a rocket launcher. That's what we used that one time. And then Anya's like, we could drop a piano on them like Bugs Bunny. And then Giles is like, Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking idiots. I love it. His quote is something like, we could also paint a fake road on the side of a mountain. And
well, Giles is probably my least favorite in this scene because he seems like, oh yeah, we'll just keep looking in the book and find something. Like, he doesn't seem to grasp the seriousness of this situation, which as the oldest member there and the watcher, he should. Like, he's like, oh no, we'll be fine. Let's just go back home, have some soup, and like
have some tea.
Yeah, like Buffy's finally being the voice of reason, saying she will just kill each and every one of you until she gets to the key. And they're all just Before they were there was an episode before where they were freaking out that Glory was going to kill all of them, and they were all worried. And this one, she's like, oh no, she knows, and she's going to kill us all. And they're all like, well, we should still just go about our day, right? Like, like, she's like, Buffy's like, run, let's get out of here.
Yeah. And that's like one of the first good ideas I feel like Buffy's had. We've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah.
Buffy's like, dude, we've tried to fight her. We're not going to win a fight with her. She's a fucking god. I say we run away. And Anya's like, I'm all for that. I wanted to run away with the Ascension. And like somebody's like, are you sure you want to run away? And Buffy's like, dude, she's gonna kill all of us one by one until she gets to Dawn. And you know what? I'm not having that. We gotta run. Everybody pack up some supplies. We're out of here. And I was like, shit, all right.
And she mentions there's like no uranium power core that we can pull out of her chest. A little Adam reference. They're throwing the references around, man. You got the judge, you got Adam.
Yeah. So then we go over to Ben, who is back at the apartment, and he's talking to a female Jinx now. Never seen this Jinx before.
Do you have her name? Her name never gets mentioned, but she has a name.
I don't have her name. I just kept referring to her as female Jinx.
In my note, she's flirty female minion. But her name is Gronks with an X.
I'm gonna keep calling.
I know. I'm just saying.
Gronks.
But I didn't know they were female minions.
Dude, we never saw one before.
I know.
Or if we did, it wasn't like they ever talked.
I'm happy to see one interacting with Dr. Intern Ben outside of like Glory sent me to talk to you. You know, like he's intertwined with these little minions that are her worshipers.
Well, I also like that this Jinx all the male Jinxes thinks Glory's hot. This Jinx thinks that Ben is hot. They're like, "Oh, you're so handsome.
Mm-hmm.
You're so handsome." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up." And he's all pissed, and they're talking about how they have like the symbiotic relationship and they live together and coexist in this body. And Ben only exists because of Glory's failure. And Ben I just want to be a normal kid. Like, you should talk to the Slayer about that, buddy. So I just wanted to be normal. And you know why I wanted to be a doctor is because I wanted to be a part of human people's lives. I wanted to see their life and their death. And I was like, whoa, that's a little fucking metal.
Yeah, he's dealing with a lot of Dawn issues. He's basically a Dawn.
So we then come to find out that, the female Jinx is trying to convince him to let Glory get the key. And he's like, hey, don't you know I'm not going to do that, because if Glory gets the key, then I cease to exist. And then they're like, yeah. And then he's like, well, wait, not if I get the key first. And I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking where there's like so many people after this key. It's really cool.
There should be more when we find out what this key does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, then we go to the Scoobs. They're waiting out on the street. They're like, hey, what's going to happen? Where are we going? I don't know what's happening. We're going to run away, but I don't know what's going on. And then a gigantic caravan RV situation shows up with all of the windows blocked out. And I was like, what the hell is this? Is Spike driving? What? So they open the door and Buffy gets out and they all pile in. They're like, come on, this is our ride. And Spike is driving. He's got these humongous goggles so he doesn't burn his eyes out, I guess, so he can see.
Which we've never seen him wear before when he was driving.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's got his convertible, not convertible, his old timey like black car.
He's got his car. How does he not get pulled over how does he not get pulled over driving that thing, man?
I don't know. His trash bags covering the entire car, basically.
Oh, I wanted to mention in the last scene that Dr. Intern Ben mentions possibly using drugs to keep Glory at bay. So that gets leaked in.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, everybody gets onto the van. Giles sees that Spike is driving and he's like, what the fuck is he doing here? Get out. And Buffy's like, no, we need Spike. And Xander's like hell we do. We don't need Spike. And then Buffy is just like, shut up. He's the only guy that if I'm incapacitated, he can protect Dawn. So everybody shut the fuck up. Spike is staying and you're all going to have to deal with it. And I was like, whoa, Buffy taking charge, dude.
But also, thank you. That's all I need for Spike's relevance.
Yeah. Well, now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, before there was no need for him to be there, but now it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, she could have said that before, too, though. She could have been like, I mean, nothing has changed. Glory has still been around the whole time. And besides Willow, they really should have cut to Willow and she'd been like,
who just tossed her? Like, who transported her into the sky?
I might be the most powerful person here. Like,
dude,
honestly.
Yeah.
I think she could take Buffy.
Dude, she absolutely could. Dude, fucking a regular human being could take Buffy.
Yeah. A robot could take Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some dude building a robot in his house that he wanted to fuck could take Buffy.
Willow's OP, man. She's OP.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be some tension between Buffy and Willow at some point because Willow's going to surge past Buffy in power and Buffy's not going to like that.
Well, we get that we get like 2 or 3 of those every season. Like the scary, the haunted the haunted house,
frat house.
Yeah, then like last episode with her turning into like witch powers and being like, oh, I can't save Tara, but you can save. We can go fight Glory when Dawn gets captured or when Spike gets captured. You know, like so.
Yeah.
They always do it. It'll be there.
Yeah.
They always all have that tension.
But so everybody's like, all right, fine, we will live with Spike. So Spike's like, buckle up, buckaroos.
Yeah. This looks like it's out of a different show.
Yeah. Dude, whenever they're outside,
yeah,
the filming just looks so different.
Yeah. They're like not used to being on location.
Mm-hmm. So then we go to the hospital. There's 3 dudes wearing flannels, and it's they're signing out somebody, and it turns out that they are the Knights of Byzantium, and they are like there to pick up their buddy that went crazy because of Glory, who got his mind melted. And they walk into the woods, and the crazy guy is still crazy.
I was so confused because I didn't recognize the crazy guy being with the 3 of them. I thought the 3 of them were coming in to get the crazy guy. I didn't know they had him with them and they were just signing him out. I thought they were signing to get in. Yeah.
I'm going to be real. It's been so long since we've seen these people. I didn't recognize them at all. I was like, who are these 3 guys? Like, and then when they took their hats off and had the tattoos or whatever, I was like, oh,
well, we haven't seen those other 2 guys.
Well, yeah, those guys. But I'm saying the crazy guy, I didn't recognize.
Yeah. Oh, not at all. I thought he was one of the 3. So I thought they were like walking to go get the guy or like look in the hospital. And I thought they were going to walk through the mental ward and then go to that back bed and then like get him. But when they start walking in the woods, I was like, wait, did they just sign into like the outside? Like I was lost. I did not know that they got the guy and were walking to meet up with their crew. It makes sense later, but yeah.
QR Discord users. How could you forget that was the guy?
The guy just had a helmet, was tortured, and then been strapped in a bed.
And then they hit his tattoo with hats.
Yeah.
But yeah, they walk into the woods and they run into their Knights of Byzantium leader guy, the general, whatever he was.
General Gregor, we find out later, but they've just been calling him General.
Yeah. So they're all chatting and they're like, hey, we brought back the crazy guy. And General Gregor's like, that's pretty dope. I'm glad that he's back here, but looks like he's kind of crazy, huh? And the crazy one starts rambling about how he's seen the shiny key that had such a shiny, pretty girl, pretty shiny little girl, pretty green, shiny key. And then they're looking around. They're like, yo, this sounds like he's talking about the key, right? And we know that the Slayer's protecting the key. So, we got to go find the Slayer. We got a lead now.
Should we tell the Slayer we know more about her than she knows about herself?
Yeah. And then General Gregor is like, all right, well, now we've got our mission. We got to find the Slayer. 10 hut, everybody. And then the camera pans up and he's got his whole Byzantium army now. And I was like, all right, cool, dude. They got everybody from the Ren Fest.
Yeah. At first I was like, oh, it's just the 3 of them because I thought it was 3 and not just the 2. And then I was like, oh, here's just a leader. I was like, all right, that doesn't seem like a lot. And then the reveal, you're like, all right, they stuck to the promise.
Yeah, they got at least 40 people there.
Yeah. How did they show up with horses to Sunnydale?
Dude, how did they remain inconspicuous?
Are they from a different dimension? Are they from Earth? I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever know.
I think they're from Earth. I think they're like Knights Templar people, like in Assassin's Creed. Didn't we talk about that?
We've brought up Assassin's Creed a bunch in Templars, I think. Either on this or the Angel podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So they would have flown over or traveled over and then like went to like one of the ranches and got the horses?
I guess, and went to like a shop and got some Kevlar and chain metal helmets and stuff.
They probably could ship that over. They probably got their own cargo planes.
All right. I just don't know how they get around without anyone being like, what the fuck is that? What's going on?
Why are you guys taking the show so serious? You just move on. I got to give a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So there's a whole army of Knights of Byzantium now.
You wanted them to come back. Now they're here. Now you're complaining.
So then we go to Giles, who has taken over driving duties from Spike, and everybody's in the back, and Xander's feeling sick. He's got motion sickness because of how they're... we've never seen this before.
It's not even played that much for fun. It's just like, oh, everyone's in a car. What can Xander do right now? Let's have him car sick. I think, well, one, if you're car sick, you need to sit in the front seat and stare out of the front windshield, you know? Like, one. Don't sit at the table facing backwards. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit.
Yeah, and Spike is sad that he can't drive anymore. Xander and Giles, they start bonding over how Buffy's acting a little crazy. This is like the most serious and angry and pissed that we've seen Buffy before. Willow's looking for clues and spells to ward off Glory through her books. Anya brought snacks. No road trip is complete without snacks. And then she pulls out a frying pan.
I know. I was like, wait, you packed that?
Right?
Like, you live with, like, did you pack that separately? Because she said no one goes home from Xander's place. So you just packed that at Xander's place, and he just let you take a frying pan and was just like, I don't have the energy to fight you on this. We're not.
Just grab it. Who
they
cares?
Didn't know they were going in a Winnebago.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they were just going to take separate cars. But
well, not everybody can fit in the Xander mobile.
Okay, but I think there's like 6 people, so I think people can fit in Giles and Xander's car.
Dude, they could have taken 3 cars. They got the camper van, the convertible, and Xander's car, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if they all like split up in different directions?
Oh.
Glory doesn't know who has the key.
Then you would get a Mad Max type situation. They'd be tossing Dawn between cars.
Oh my God. Like Fast X. When Dom's
don't
son,
spoil anything on Fast X.
Fast
There's
X
still people
is so
waiting.
good.
There's still people waiting for it to come on streaming. I'm sure.
You gotta see it, everybody.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
Entertaining, but ridiculous.
Very entertaining. But if you want to nitpick some stuff, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Anya brought her frying pan. Tara is still being kind of mind melty, and she reaches for the window. She pulls it down, and the sunlight burns Spike. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on?" And then Willow's like, No, Tara, you can't do that. No. And then they close the window shades, and Tara starts crying that it's all dark. It's all dark. It's all dark. And then we cut to like the crazy people in the mental hospital that are going, all dark, all dark. Spike, I gotta give Spike some credit here. He forgives Tara very quickly.
Yeah.
For his skin being burnt. He's like, look, it's not even smoking anymore.
You know what's funny? I was watching these scenes like at Xander's place and when they're in the camper earlier or the Winnebago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, Tara's been real quiet.
Yeah.
Normally she's just mumbling on the whole time, but she was super quiet until now.
Yeah. I just feel, I said it last episode. I'm saying it again. I feel so bad for this actress. What they keep giving her.
I will say I don't hate story-wise having her be crazy for how they tie it in. Because now they have the crazy person with them.
Yeah.
So that kind of works for like a little weird tell and like an ominous beacon. Yeah.
Yeah. But boy, oh boy, I feel bad for her, dude. I feel bad. They just have her like blankly looking with a big, dumb, stupid face. Like,
first they gave her a stutter, then they just made her just mentally incapacitated. Yeah,
it's sad. So yeah, after all, the mental hospital people are chanting "all dark," which is a bad sign because it looks like the Jinxes are now doing a spell at their apartment. That was like a really quick scene, like nothing really is going on.
They're like,
there.
oh, the time is almost here. And I'm like, I know we've mentioned earlier, Glory's like, I need to get the key before this thing. So now we have this ticking clock of something's coming. And
we don't have any idea of like when time's running out, Glory. Yeah. Time is running out. It's like, is it?
Yeah, like,
how much time?
It's just as much time as it needs to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have Dawn going back to the back of the van to talk to Buffy and tell her, hey, Anya's going to try and cook something for us. And I was like, oh, Buffy's got a little private quarters in this.
This is my room. You got to stay out.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, okay, thanks. I appreciate that, Dawn. And Dawn then thanks Buffy for everything that she's doing for her. And Buffy's like, I don't feel like I'm doing a good job of protecting you, dude. And Dawn's like, no, you are. Like, this is a good plan. And Buffy's like, what plan? The plan was to run away? That's fucking stupid. That's a bad plan. I'm the Slayer. I should be confronting evil. I am the chosen one. I should be confronting evil head on. And I'm running away.
The Slayer is not the strongest being in the world. That is You're a vampire slayer, and we've learned that vampires are low-level demons.
Yes.
So you are not like you've done well. You've overachieved at this level.
She's punching out of her weight class, dude. Like, she's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah. She's defeated all kinds of other demons that are not vampires, witches, magical ascension people, like the Judge. None of those are vampires.
Yeah. The Master. You defeated the Master, who did kill you.
Yeah, who was head vampire.
Well, he did kill you, but
But
you defeated Angelus, kind of.
Yep.
Not really. Actually, Willow did that by giving him his soul back. But
she's got a bad track record with vampires. Like, like big vampires, she's bad with.
She killed the one in the college.
She didn't kill Dracula.
She didn't kill Dracula. Well,
he keeps popping up.
That was a weird one. That was a weird way to start the show. This season.
She killed Sunday. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Sunday she did kill her, but Sunday worked her. Yeah.
She's got a bad track, dude. Like big bad vampires. I mean, she did kill the Master eventually.
Yeah.
And we did get another Slayer out of it. I mean, dude,
is that good? Is that a good or bad thing though? When you think about it,
it's serendipitous, I guess. Kind of.
Wait, we got a Kendra out of it.
Oh yeah,
and then we got a Faith.
Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah, like I think that caused more pain than help. You know,
but I mean, Spike was a big bad vampire, and he's now like, I guess she converted him to the good guy's side, maybe by being sexy. And she let Drusilla walk, who was a big bad vampire.
Yeah.
She killed Darla pretty quickly, but Darla's back.
Didn't Angel kill Darla?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Dude, she's bad. She's bad at killing big bad vampires. She's good at low-level vampires.
She needs to stick to demons and gods and creations made in the lab of the Initiative.
Oh, man. But, then Buffy keeps on lamenting about her bad luck. She's like, oh, man, Mom, Riley, Angel, all these people, they're not doing good. And Dawn's like, hey.
Look, can I say, she goes, it just keeps happening. It's Glory, Riley, Tara, Mom. Like, that's the order that she listed them in. I was like, Riley number 2 on that list. Awesome.
Nothing bad happened to Riley. That's the thing. Is like
Riley got out. Riley got out clean.
Yeah,
it's the best thing.
Tara has gotten her mind melted. Mom is dead. Riley just went on a trip. Like,
yeah. I swear, if they're gonna kill Glory, and everyone's mind's just gonna go back to normal, and I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah.
But
this is where Dawn reminds Buffy, hey, there's a bright side. You know, things can't really get any crazier. And just as she says that, an arrow shoots through the van, and Buffy turns to Dawn and she goes, you know, I'm going to blame you for that. This happened because you just said that, right? And
this was one of those ones where I was like, she immediately went from down on herself to quip mode and then sigh face.
Yep.
She's like, I'm gonna blame you for this one. I guess I gotta fight these guys. You were just so down and defeated, and just completely shifted to quip. Yeah.
Well, what I enjoy about this is now we have a big old squadron of Knights of Byzantium on horseback chasing down the camper van that could just very easily drive away from these horses. Dude.
They mentioned before that it didn't have a lot of power.
Yeah.
So they nerfed the Winnebago initially, even though the Winnebago should have more than 1 horsepower.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the Knights are.
We need some horse girls to write in and let us know how they could chase down a Winnebago.
I mean, I feel like horses can probably. How fast do you think a horse can run?
I should know this, having been to a Preakness and a Kentucky Derby, but
Me too.
I don't know.
Whoa, horses can run up to 55 miles an hour. All right, so maybe not. Maybe they can catch up to this.
But probably can't sustain 55 miles per hour longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah. But all right. I was doubting horses. Never mind. Sorry.
Horses are powerful.
Sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to doubt majestic beasts.
That was not my complaint with this scene at all. But yeah.
But so yeah, the Knights are chasing and they're shooting loads of arrows into the van, and everyone's looking around like, "What the hell?" I am so happy you said
arrows.
Yeah. Why? What was I?
You said they were shooting loads of arrows.
Oh. They're shooting loads of arrows into the van, and they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do? We gotta everybody duck. Everybody, what's the plan? Giles, do something!" And then Giles just tries to run them off the road. And I think that somebody's like, "Don't kill the horses." And Buffy's like, "Don't worry, we're not going to kill the horses." And turns to Giles and is like, "Kill the fucking horses. I don't give a shit. Run them off the road."
And I was like, this is going to be the most controversial episode of Buffy ever. If we just see the Winnebago just running over a horse and you just hear. The show would be canceled. The show would be canceled.
Spike makes some kind of comment about, it's a glue factory or whatever. Like, he would. Spike absolutely would. Yeah. But eventually one of the Knights rides his horse close enough to the van to hop onto the ladder of the camper van that's like hanging on the back. And then they hear that, and he's like on the roof. He stabs a sword down through the roof. Spike grabs the sword.
That was weird.
Yeah. Because there's no way he could have held that sword.
He's grabbing it by the blade part.
Mm-hmm.
So if the guy went to pull it back up, it would just slice through his hand.
Yeah, there's no way that he could hold that sword where it was.
Like when Buffy catches the sword or the blade when she's fighting Angel in that classic episode, and she's just like, it's just me. I don't know I don't know the line offhand, but it's a great moment for Buffy. She grabs it by the like flat edge, not the blade edge, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she does like
the clap thing.
Yeah. So that makes sense a little bit. I mean, you would still be able to slide and you would have to do some friction. But this is like the blade would just start cutting through your hand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Spike's like, now would be a good time to do something heroic, Buffy. And Buffy's like, right, take off the sunroof. And Spike's looking like, well, that's not what I was talking about.
We've seen Buffy jump over a fence. Why does she need a boost to get on the sunroof? Just jump up.
Yeah. You still fucking nitpicking the show, Vance. She gets a boost.
Because it would look cool to see her like Superman fly out the top.
Yeah, jump up and then spread the legs to land. Like, oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But she gets a boost to go through the roof, and then she starts fighting the knight on the roof. And I was like, all right, well, this is pretty high stakes and cool.
And then the choreography is a little whatever. and the look of it and the editing of it is just all over the place. And I know they got to cover up like stunt person, they're on a moving car. Like, you know, it's a lot of stuff, especially for this isn't a Mission Impossible type budget, you know? So time constraints, TV, also 2000s. It doesn't look great though.
But Buffy's fighting this guy. She eventually defeats him and kicks him off the van. Then 2 more Knights of Byzantium hop onto the van. And then she starts fighting those guys on the roof. One of them is like breaking through the window. Almost grabs Dawn, who's just screaming. Anya takes her frying pan and starts whacking the guy in the head with the pan. And then he falls out. And she goes, hey, it's no piano, but that worked.
Chekhov's frying pan.
Yeah. So Buffy, we go back to Buffy on the roof and she's fighting 2 of these knights. She kicks 2 of them off, right? Mm-hmm. And then one other guy is climbing onto the van. Mm-hmm. And she picks up one of the knights' axes that she had previously kicked off. And she hurls this axe and it stabs this guy right in the chest and he goes flying off. My note says, definitely killed that guy. Mm-hmm. There we go. Buffy definitely killed that human being guy.
Oh, no. The guy later said you killed 10 of our men.
Yeah.
No, she's killing these people.
And Spike remains.
Well, Spike isn't trying to kill Dawn.
Yeah, all right. Fair.
I do have a thing about Buffy caring about Dawn the way she does. Like, the monks...
Definitely later in the episode, I had a big problem with it.
Yeah. We'll save it for then.
Yeah. But after Buffy has like successfully fought off all these guys and they look behind them and they're like, all right, there's no more knights chasing us. That's pretty sick. All right, we handled that pretty well. And then as Giles is turning around to start driving again and look, a Knight of Byzantium is now coming from the front and he has a javelin and he just throws it through the front of the car and it stabs Giles right in the gut. Buffy falls off the roof. The van crashes and things are not looking good for the Scoobs.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a harpoon to the chest. Or to the gut midsection.
Yeah, like the lower abdomen.
I thought this was interesting, and then when the Winnebago falls over, I have no idea where this guy came from.
Yeah.
It was I would think Giles would have ducked or got out of the seat. I don't know.
I mean, he's got to drive. He's got to keep driving.
Yeah. That is why Spike's not driving.
I thought that there was a chance that it missed him because it goes through and then it went but I didn't see it actually go through him.
I thought a chance that it grazed his side and it would be like one of those things you just wrap up and keep moving.
Yeah, I just got a splinter. Yeah. Lucky me.
It's just a flesh wound. Yeah.
I thought it would have been cooler if the Knight of Byzantium jousted it through rather than throw it through.
I think that would have been really hard. I think the horse would have gotten destroyed. You mean if he jousted it through on the side or straight on?
No, I mean he could just hold it out to the side. That's how they joust.
Oh, you mean if he went to the side of it? Got you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. If the horse rider was slightly to the side of the van, he could joust through it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, I feel like throwing it on a horse is way harder than jousting.
That's some great upper body strength and balance. That takes talent. Yeah.
Amazing balance.
Yeah.
And that's coming from an aerialist, everybody. I got good balance.
That's a good joke. And that's coming from a comedian.
Oh, check out my special, everybody. It's on YouTube. JoeWelke.com. Or just YouTube Joe Welke. It's on there. Thanks for the lovely feedback. Anyway, so we go to commercial break after the van crashes because things aren't looking good.
What commercial did you get?
I definitely got some Burger King ones, but I didn't get the Whopper. I think they did away with those ones because they were getting memed to death.
I saw one of those recently. Not a heavy one, but I saw one recently on something.
You know, I don't like the McDonald's ones where they got that creepy old guy voice who's like, "Oh, bet you really want."
That's the guy from
right
Succession, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's.
And then he sings it at the end where he goes,
Brian Cox.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, this is. I could feel his breath on the back of my neck. I feel like when he's singing that.
You prefer Ving Rhames and his Arby's commercials?
Yes, we have the meats. I fucking love those. Bump, 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 dude. That beat's sick.
Yeah. Football season's coming up, so I'm sure I'm going to see a lot more commercials now.
Yeah. So we come back from commercial. The van's all crashed, and they gotta find shelter because Spike's burning up. He's got a fucking big old blanket on top of him. He's like, dude, we gotta find something.
I'm gonna say they added that like in post later because obviously they would have added in post, but he normally is catching on fire when he runs into the magic shop and runs into Buffy's house. Here he's in a full on desert scenario, and he's like not burning up.
Yeah. When he runs into so they eventually run into like a barn or some shit.
It looks like an abandoned gas station.
Okay. They run into that place and he's not like smoking or anything because whenever he runs into Buffy's house, he's like,
I mean, there's a wide shot of him it's a wide shot of him just like in the sun and like nothing's coming. They were like, we don't have the money for the effects of fire for this. We just had a car chase with horses and fighting. Yeah.
So they run into the abandoned gas station type of deal, and people are carrying Giles because Giles definitely did get stabbed in the gut. He's got a big old wound there. Mm-hmm. And then everybody's looking around like, what's the plan? What are we going to do? What's next? And Buffy's like, I don't have a fucking plan right now, dude. I just think we need to keep moving, all right? Because fucking those Knights guys, they're not going to stop chasing us. Glory's not going to stop chasing us. We need to keep moving. And Giles is laying down like, oh.
What happened to the guy that harpooned him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he just go back and get reinforcements? Why didn't he just attack him when the van flipped?
I think that he saw that the van flipped and Buffy fell off the roof and he was like, mission accomplished.
He's like, no way the key could survive that.
Yeah. He knew nothing about double taps from Zombieland. Yeah. Doesn't confirm the kill at all. No. He's just like, that worked. I threw my fucking javelin. It's all good.
Like, you killed the key, yet the sun still rises. Like,
yeah.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write 1 million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Bored at home? Head over to Chumba Casino and join some serious social casino fun. With hundreds of games at your fingertips, no purchase necessary. You can play anytime, anywhere. There's a special welcome bonus waiting for you when you sign up. Play for fun, play for free, and you could even redeem some great prizes. Visit ChumbaCasino.com and get ready to reel in the fun. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply.
So they're all in this abandoned place, and they're like, well, we got to figure out a plan. And Buffy's like, well, let's just hide out here for a little bit. It's going to be chill. We can all hide out here. And just as she's done saying that, flaming arrows start shooting into the fucking place. And then we cut to outside, and there's just so many Knights shooting these arrows. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Good. These Knights are finally doing shit.
And I like that they were doing that at an abandoned gas station, which I think that's what it was. So I was like, this place might blow up.
Yeah. Well, I also was noticing like there's all kinds of like sunlight coming through, and Spike is just in there. I was like, Spike would definitely be
sunlight doesn't bother vampires until it does.
So then Spike and Buffy, they try to barricade the door, But then the Knights just say, fuck it. And they start breaking through the walls of this place. Like it's all like boarded up and they just like punch through the wall and just start grabbing at people.
One of my favorite scenes is when Buffy and Spike are trying to push like a vending machine over in front of the front door. While you see another Knight punching through the boarded up window. And they're like, oh yeah, let's stop him from getting in the door. I'm like, that window is like walk-in size. That window is door size. Like,
I would have loved if they were pushing it in front of the door and then they saw that happen and they just push it the other direction.
I was like, back in. You need like 5 or 6 vending machines.
So now there are Knights inside and they're breaking in. Mm-hmm. And Buffy starts fighting one. Spike he punches one, and then nice little nod to the chip, because we haven't seen this happen to Spike in a minute. He punches a guy, and then another Knight shows up, and then Spike gets his headache that he gets from hurting a human being.
Oh, that's what that was. I thought he had like walked into the sun or something, but nah, okay, that makes sense.
So that I feel like that shows that they're not demons or from another dimension. They're just guys.
Was it sun? It was the headache. It was a chip headache.
Okay. Because it just came out of nowhere. Because it was right after he punched a guy and he went, oh.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Knights of Byzantium aren't bad guys. Like they're trying to destroy a key, not destroy a human, because the key was not human.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of on the Knights of Byzantium side. Kind of on the Knights of Byzantium side.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah. So after they kind of beat up a couple of Knights of Byzantium, their leader, General Gregor, comes in. And he notices that Dawn is the key. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. Because the crazy guy said the girl was. Yeah. So he's like, oh, there's the key. And then Buffy beats him up.
That's where she throws something at his like knife hand, his sword hand, and it falls out. And then she backhands him. He hits the wall and passes out. It's so funny.
Dude, Buffy on Sister Protection Rage is OP.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then Willow does another incredibly powerful spell that creates a force field barrier around the entire place that they're staying in, and like a good 20 feet to spare too.
When Buffy asked how long it'll last, she's like, probably a day and a half or something. Like, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, what? You can't turn Amy back from a rat. I'm sorry. I'm seeing her fly. She's shooting electricity and lightning out of her arms. She's making force fields. She's zapping.
And dude, once again, she did this barrier spell with no effort. Like she just says a couple words and then there is a force field like the Incredibles. Like,
why have they not been doing this every night at Buffy's house?
I have no idea. And it's not like there's any consequences. It's not like Willow looks drained or like she's got a bloody nose again.
No.
She's just like, yep, I got that.
And while she did that while being yelled at by Buffy. Like, hurry up, Willow. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Good thing Spike's here. Like, what? Like, no. You got Willow.
Spike is the only one that can protect us, Willow. Did I not just fuck?
Did she not just burst in through our dorm and I shot her across the hall?
Remember when I fucking made her float in the sky in the middle of the city? Get the fuck out of here, dude. But as they create this gigantic barrier spell, the Knights of Byzantium are like, don't worry, we got guys for this. Clerics, come on, get over here. And then 2 priest guys show up and they start touching the thing and they're like, all right, we're going to do a reversal spell on this motherfucker. And then they start doing their chanting, their little spells. And this also goes to show how powerful Willow is, because there's two clerics, priest guys that are trying to do spells to nix her spell. And they cannot for hours.
Yeah, you would assume these two guys would be like, no, this is easy.
Yeah.
Oh, this actually wouldn't protect against Glory after what we see later.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Anyway, so then we have Buffy and the gang. They tie up the General Gregor for questioning. And then he tells Buffy, like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, but like that right there, that girl, that is an instrument of chaos and it must be destroyed. And Buffy's like, no, it doesn't. She's a girl. She's my sister. And the guy's like, look, that is a key, and the key must be severed. It's the will of God. And I'm like, all right, well, now you're kind of losing me, Knights of Byzantium guy with the will of God type of shit. But
then I just want to ask more questions. Like, all right, which God is which God? What dimension is what? Like, what is religion in this world?
Right.
Yeah.
Who's right?
I mean, if the crucifix works, Jesus has to be, you know?
So then Buffy tries to plead with this guy, like, look, dude, we're not your enemies, all right? We don't like Glory either, all right? So why don't you just tell your army to stand down and we'll all like get out of this together. Like nobody else needs to die. Nobody else needs to happen. Nothing bad needs to happen. And I love this. General Gregor goes, no, the key is too dangerous and it's too dangerous to be allowed to exist no matter what form. I don't care if it's human. I don't care what it is. That thing needs to be destroyed. And now we cue Tara going absolutely ballistic. She starts screaming, time, 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 and running and slamming against the walls. And Willow's like, I don't know what the fuck happened to her. She just started losing it. And then
if only I had magical powers to restrain her.
And then we cut to all of the people in the hospital who are going crazy and they're screaming time, time. And then the nurse goes up to all of them and they're like, she's like, no, it's not time to eat yet. And then they burst out of their restraints. And
like punch her.
Yeah.
She's like knocked out.
So then they all start going off somewhere. And now we go to the outside of the gas station and the crazy Knight of Byzantium, he starts saying that it's time. And the one dude that we saw earlier, he's like, oh, yeah, it's time. It's time. Shh. Stab.
Yeah. He's like, the beast will not get your heart. She might get your mind, but she will not get your heart. And he kills him. It's like, oh, good thing you guys rescued him for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, right? They got all the information they needed out of that guy. They learned that it was a girl.
You have served your purpose.
Yeah. So he stabs that dude. And then he turns around and yells at he's like, clerics, what the fuck? What's going on? Get that shit down, dude.
They're like, oh, we stopped working on this. We thought we were...
We haven't had anything to eat in a minute, guy.
Where are the rations?
Yeah. But I like at the beginning, they're like, yeah, this is the spell of one witch who cannot hold a candle to our God.
Yeah.
And it's hours later, and they're like, we're still working on it.
Yeah, I was like, all right. Jeez.
So then we go inside again, and Buffy is apologizing to Giles. She's like, I'm so sorry. This is not how I wanted things to go down. And Giles is like, don't worry about it. It's all good. You know what? I'm really proud of you. You're everything that I could have ever hoped you'd become. And Buffy's like, really? Because I'm running away from the hell god. I'm not fighting her. And Giles is like, hey, shut up. I'm proud of you. It's time
for me to die.
Let me say this, all right? And then he passes out. And Buffy is like, God damn it. Everybody around me is dying. Willow, open the door. Open a hole in this barricade. And Willow is all blacked out eyes. And she's like, yes.
Well, I don't think she's blacked out eyes here. I think she's looking and she's like, what? You really want me to open this? Like, she has a little concern. She had blacked out eyes when she made the thing.
Oh, okay.
But here she's like, wait, you want me to open the hole through this thing?
Yeah.
Which I can do easily and close it and open it again. Like it's a real door because I'm that powerful of a witch. But
Can't
yeah,
turn a person
she's
back
like,
from a rat?
Normally, you would think Buffy and Willow would have a real talk about why she's opening the door, like after everything we've seen, especially last episode. But it's just like, all right, I guess Buffy wants to open the door.
Gee, Buffy's pissed. Must be that time of the month. No, don't fuck with Buffy.
Don't fuck with Buffy. I guess I'm number 3.
Can we Why don't you get Spike to open the door?
Yeah, he's the only one that can fight Glory.
Yeah, he's the only one that can protect Dawn, right? Yeah. So,
did you think Giles was gonna die here?
No, they can't have Giles die too.
Yeah, I was watching this and I got a little giddy thinking, holy shit, would they kill Giles off? Because I was like, if they do that, that would be crazy.
It would be crazy. Like they made it look like it for sure. They made it because he's passing out. He's got some serious blood loss, dude.
Yeah, he was a little jealous that he didn't get a chance. He hasn't gotten a chance to do a fake death scene yet in 5 seasons.
So Willow opens a little portion of this barricade. Buffy goes out with Xander, of all people. It's nighttime. Why not go out with Spike?
Because of plot. Because Xander actually has, he uses his military guy training here.
Yeah. So.
Because Buffy doesn't have a plan.
No, she just goes out and she's like, hey, somebody in there is hurt. Will you guys fucking let me help them? And they're like, you killed 10 of our dudes. No.
Yeah. And then her action was to fight. She was like, oh, you guys want to fight? I'm like, Buffy, you can't. No.
Yeah. This is not a good negotiation tactic. But yeah, Buffy starts to buck up and she's like, all right, you're not going to let me help my guy? I'll fight all fucking 60 of you.
Yeah.
And then Xander grabs her. He's like, no, wait.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are talking about how this here, what we're doing here is a war, right? Well, in war, there are rules. And you guys fancy yourselves honorable warriors, right? And you can't break those rules if you want to be honorable warriors. And they're like, man, you got us there. You got us there. And then so Xander's like, well, guess what, dude? We've got your leader in there with us. And we can do whatever the fuck we want with him. If you guys let us release this guy or get help for this guy, we won't fuck with your leader. Sound good? Then they're like, all right, I guess.
I don't buy that they would have done this deal at all. Especially knowing what the general thinks. Who cares about the general? They want to kill
they want to destroy the key. They'll do it any means necessary.
We just saw this guy that they're talking to stab his brother in arms just because he started talking about time. They could have just tied him up. They could have just tied that guy up. He wasn't actually going to be a threat to them. He just ended him.
Just like, hey, what time is it?
Don't ask me that, Ken. And then
Ken. Knight of Byzantium Ken.
And then it's just like, oh, you got our captain? Shit, I guess I do have to give in to your demands. No.
Right.
They absolutely would not, based off everything we know. I do like Xander coming out. I do like him trying to be like, hey, wars are supposed to have rules. They're supposed to. And then having the leverage. Because I wasn't even thinking that they had the leverage of the captain, of the general.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I know. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what you should probably start with.
Buffy did not leverage at all, I feel like. I feel like those guys would have not cared.
No. But that is the leverage that you would go out with.
Yeah.
You're just going to ask, hey, guys that are trying to kill all of us, and I just killed 10 of your men, you mind if we save one of ours? No.
I don't think that they would have taken... They're on a mission from Gad.
Yeah. The God in the Bible who asked people to kill their own sons for them, and who has killed his own son.
Who flooded the earth. He fucking flooded the earth, killed everyone.
Yeah.
That is not a forgiving dude.
They're stabbing Buffy and walking through that hole in the portal.
Yeah, they're shooting 90 flaming arrows at her.
Yeah.
But they accept the deal. And then Buffy gets on a payphone that Willow magically gets to work.
When Willow turned the electricity on in this building, I was like, that's it, man. You guys should all be practicing witchcraft. I don't even get why. Like, that should be a trade school. Just like, I'm going to Willow for 2 hours every day to get witch training.
I love that Spike is like, God damn, that was really cool. I got a TV that's kind of broken. You think you can fix it? And Willow's like, oh. Like, all right, damn. Thought I'd ask.
Like, Buffy's cool with me right now. You don't have to keep the attitude. She's got that, like, when someone breaks up with a boyfriend and then they get back together and the friend is still in that, like, still mode where she's been talking trash about him and she can't get back.
Yeah. Been there before.
When someone breaks up with someone, you're best not to go on that trash talking binge, especially because when they get back together, it's like, oh, yeah, forget everything I said about that person that I was holding in while you were dating the first time.
So Buffy calls somebody on the payphone. We don't know who it is at this moment in time, but they pick up and Buffy's like, hey, I need to ask you a big favor.
Who did you think she was calling?
Angel.
We have 2 phone calls. Like, Angel, there's a phone call too. In this Angel episode, where you're like, who did they call?
Yeah.
And I was surprised by both.
Yeah, I was as well. I thought that she was calling Angel in this one.
Yeah.
But no, she was calling Dr. Intern Ben, who arrives on the scene to a bunch of knights pointing swords at his car.
And this is where you just got to give this show credit, man. Like, the whole getting Dr. Intern Ben phone number and then breaking up with him, or like not even going on the date, and you're like, well, okay, what was that? It's all for this. It all like comes back. Like, she had to have that so that she had a person that she could call. Yeah. I did not expect that. And then when you see him show up, you're like, holy shit, this is bad.
Yes. It is a sense of dread.
And Dr. Intern Ben has no sense of, like, send someone else.
Yeah. I don't think that he, like...
He knows.
In kayfabe, I think that he doesn't know, but I think behind everything he knows that Buffy's the Slayer and there's the key and all this stuff.
In kayfabe? What?
Kayfabe, like, outwardly to Buffy and all of the Scoobies, he doesn't know that Buffy's the Slayer and all this demon shit's going on. But secretly, he does know. Like, he's still playing a dummy to all of them.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that they think he's a normal guy.
Yeah, but him knowing that they're the Slayer, that they have the key, and that he is Glory, you would think he would not want to put himself in the position that he puts himself in.
Yes. This was really stupid of Dr. Intern Ben.
Yes.
He should have been like, I'll send my colleague.
Yes.
Like, I'll send somebody else. I can't. I got a coffee date. You stood me up or whatever.
He's like, don't even tell me where you are. I'm just going to give you another number. Call that number.
Yeah. Buffy's like, we're at, and he's like, la, 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 don't tell me. I don't want to know.
And that lady Jinx was like, what is this pretty guy on the phone talking to?
Yeah.
She was flirting hard.
Dude, right? So Dr. Intern Ben comes in, and he's going to take care of Giles. And Buffy's like, look, I know all this seems really crazy. There's a bunch of knights out there. And he's like, yeah, you didn't tell me about that. She's like, yeah, I know. But I appreciate that you're here. And Dr. Intern Ben is cool about everything. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm all good. It's just nice to see you again. And Spike is watching this. And he's like, what the fuck?
And then we get a look from Dawn where she's like, seems like she knows something. She remembers something. I do love his line of like, I've seen crazy stuff. Like, I worked the emergency room on a full moon in Sunnydale. And I'm like, amazing. Like, amazing werewolf reference. And amazing that there's still werewolves roaming around Sunnydale. I thought we'd stop.
Right? Dude.
Does a full moon just do werewolves, or do all the demons go wild? Because we've only seen werewolves, really.
I mean, full moon, they say that it makes regular humans go crazy.
Yeah, that's if you believe in sky.
That's poppycock.
There's more light from the sun reflecting off the moon.
What a bunch of malarkey. All of our Crystal Healer listeners just tuned the fuck out. You're getting a 1-star review now.
And that's when I stopped listening to the podcast about demons and werewolves and slayers.
Yeah. But Ben sees Dawn, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot that she's the key, and I'm all nervous now." I'm like, "Dude, you didn't realize this?"
I don't even know if he has a nervousness look on his face. It's just like he looks at her like knowingly.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, cool. Dawn knows that he's Glory, but she doesn't.
No, she doesn't remember because she had some kind of lapse in memory when Ben turned into Glory.
Yeah, and I was confused by like how, because that's never explained.
I was really annoyed by that when it first happened. Because she's talking to Buffy about it, and she's like, Ben was trying to help, but then she doesn't tell Buffy that he turned into Glory.
And it looked like from the recaps that she like completely just like couldn't grasp, her head couldn't grasp the body switch. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know maybe next episode we'll get an explanation of like, oh, I'm like one person, so you can't really see the two because you're some type of key thing. I don't know, but I thought it's very interesting that she doesn't know, because that would have added so much more tension.
Bro, it happened right in Dawn's face. And then that same episode, she was like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, it happened 6 inches away from you.
Yeah. That would be, the mind works when you have a traumatic experience. It like takes more pictures. And I think watching a doctor turn into Glory would really just be permanently ingrained into my mind.
I remember when that first happened in that episode, I was pissed. I was like, how could she not know that? Like, how did she not know that?
It'd be one thing if she was covering for it because she had a crush on Dr. Intern Ben, which would be like really weird, but also fitting for a 14-year-old girl in this world who also has crushes on Spike.
A vampire.
Yeah, so like, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's crazy. And then our friend Johnny would be like, teenage girls.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
So, yeah, So I don't know. I don't know why she can't remember this or is just not saying anything. But I think she honestly doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were going to have like a conversation when she was working on Giles and they're standing next to each other.
And she's going to walk up to him like, so what are you fucking doing here? You need to get out of here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Dr. Intern Ben gets Giles stabilized, stop the bleeding. But, we got to get him out of here, all right? Buffy's like, that's not really an option. And Spike is downstairs with Xander, and he's trying to smoke a cigarette. Xander lights his cigarette because Spike's hands are all fucked up.
They were really worried about Spike's hands to the point where I was like, why? He's a vampire. Yeah. They heal fast. I mean,
Buffy even, she's like, he's going to heal. Yeah. Shut up. He'll heal.
Giles is like dying on a slab, and Dawn's like, Spike is hurt. I was like, guys, like, you're not Buffy bot. Like, Spike's fine.
Yeah. So Xander goes over. He's like, hey, did I ever tell you lately that I don't like you? And Spike's like, yeah, you said that a bunch. And Xander's like, well, let me say it again. I don't like you. I'm like, dude, shut up with this already. Like, you've got bigger shit going on than your little quarrels.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, this was weird because it was like, okay, I thought they were actually going to get on the same level.
Same. I thought they were going to have a bonding moment.
You don't light a man's cigarette and then complain about him. Like, that is a bonding moment, not a, I don't know.
Yeah, an opportunity to be like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
What? But anyway, so then Spike starts talking about like, dude, I am concerned about this. And Xander's like, what? Why? We're following Buffy's plan. He's like, dude, Buffy's plan is pretty fucking stupid. I'm going to be real with you. We all need to get out of here. Let's go out the back, steal Dr. Intern Ben's car, and we're out of here. We're done. We're out. And if we stay, we're all going to die. And Buffy pops up out of nowhere and she's like, no, we are all going to make it. Everyone's going to survive.
Yeah. Like, well, the key thing that Spike says that he's like, some of us will make it. At least some of us will make it if we make a run for it. Like,
yeah,
conceding that some people will die. Some people going to have to die. And I'm like,
that's just the nature of the game.
And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Spike. That sounds like the person that you brought on this trip. Yeah.
He's just being real, dude.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. But
I thought they were going to talk to Gregor in this scene. I
thought so too.
I thought Spike and Xander. I thought Xander was going to have military guy to military guy talk. or something like that. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be something like they get information and they can't relay it to Buffy for some reason, but it's like key information. But no, Buffy comes down. She's like, "Get the fuck out of here. Go check the supplies. People are hungry, I think."
Yeah, go feed people. I'm like, they're all adults,
right?
like it's not like there's a bunch of random people and like Xander and Spike need to start handing out sandwiches. Like,
right?
What is Anya doing? She's got the frying pan.
She got some eggs to cook, I guess.
Yeah, that'd been amazing if she started cooking eggs with a Winnebago.
Willow, make a spell with a fire.
Yeah.
Xander, read 3 words from any book.
We know Willow can make fire easy.
Yeah, we saw her do it on the beach.
Yeah. And she can make electricity. Like, I mean, geez, man, she's so powerful.
Yeah. So, after Spike and Xander go up, Spike's rolling his eyes like, this is a bad idea, dude. They go up, leaving Buffy alone with General Gregor, and General Gregor is like, "Ooh, you got some dissension in your ranks. That's not good news." Buffy's like, "Shut the fuck up."
She like hits him across his face. Yeah. He spits out blood.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, "So you're gonna tell me some shit about this glory and this key shit, or are you just gonna be a big old piece of shit?"
Are you gonna do what I wanted the Watchers to do 5 episodes ago?
Yeah. And so he's like, "All right, well, here's some history about this glory lady. All right. She is a mega powerful hell god, and she ruled over this demon dimension with 2 other gods, and she was getting so powerful that the 2 other gods started to get worried about how powerful she was becoming. So they banished her to this world because they were worried she was going to get too powerful and take over all the other dimensions. And they trapped her in the body of a mortal, in the body of a newborn male. And that's the beast's only weakness." And then Buffy puts it together. She goes, "Oh, so if I kill the man, the god dies." And they're like, "Yeah, pretty much, I guess so." And there's like, "Oh, nice new interesting wrinkle."
But they're like, "How will I ever find this human man?"
Yeah.
Here's a question. When they say newborn male, do they mean like when he was a baby she came? Or like...
I think so, yeah.
So she's been here for centuries? Like...
I think she's been here for like 20 years. But like, I don't know...
Or did they create him like... Or did they create him like they created Dawn?
I think it was a baby that was just born. The 2 other hell gods saw that happen and banished her into that baby. Just some random baby. Mm-hmm. And that baby was Dr. Intern Ben. And yeah, and then she's just been on Earth for 20 years, I guess, trying to find the key for 20 some. Well, he's got to be like, I mean, if he's a doctor.
Dr. Intern.
If he's a Dr. Intern, he's got to be at least like 28, 29 or something.
No, I mean, college, you got, and then if he's working and he's in med school, like he could be 25.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. He could be around that age. Yeah, you don't have to be like, not every. There's
only like a 3-year difference from what I said. Come on.
I mean, 29. I mean, if he's pushing 30, then he might be Riley's age. We have no idea how old Riley is.
But yeah,
right?
So
Riley's been in college for 7 years.
He's Van Wilder.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Still throwing those frat parties. My men need to let loose.
So just as he's talking about this and Buffy figures out, oh, if we kill the man, the god dies. And the General Gregor is like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Dawn shows up and she's like, what about the key? What's the key? What's that key's deal? And General Gregor is like, oh, you want to hear about the key? Here's the key's deal.
Finally.
Yeah. The key is almost as old as the beast, but its origin is a mystery. And monks hid the key with magic for a long time. And then somebody asks, like, well, why didn't the monks destroy it? And he's like, well, the monks are fucking idiots. And they thought that they could use the key's power for good. A bunch of fucking goobers.
I love that. I love that. I love that he said that. And now they're all dead. They tried to use
it for good. They're all fools and they failed and they're all dead now. And then they're like, well, what does the key do? What's the key's purpose? And the guy's like, the key's purpose is to open the gates to different dimensions. And they're like, well, that doesn't sound that bad. And he's like, oh, it's bad. That's bad news. Because if Glory gets her hands on the key, she's going to use it. And Buffy's like, well, she could just use the key and go back to her home world. Why wouldn't we just give her the key? Like, we don't want her here.
She's like, that's Glory's big plan to steal the key to go back home? And he's like, oh, no. It's more than that.
No. She is going to open the key to all dimensions, open the lock to all dimensions. And she's going to take control of all of that. And she's going to take control of all of hell. And then once the key, or once all of the dimensions are open, the walls between reality and all of the dimensions will crumble, and then the universe will turn to chaos. And then Buffy's like, oh yeah, that's a lot more serious than her going home.
You know what's interesting about this? This is like the first Spider-Verse movie. This is like a lot of the Marvel stuff now. And people are just like, oh my God, the metaverse stuff. It's so much now. It's like, yeah, they were doing it. They were doing it like 20 years ago. Like, yeah, man. This is exactly that.
Buffy is an innovator.
Yes. When we call out the tropes of this show when we watch it, they weren't necessarily, and we've said this, they weren't necessarily big tropes at the time, but we are coming at this from 20 years later watching it. So it seems tropey, but tropes start somewhere. Someone has to do the first thing, and it's not a trope when you do it.
We do also have to mention Joss Whedon did have a big hand in the Marvel stuff. Like, he kicked off the Avengers. Like, that was his shit. Yep. So you can see a lot of that stuff from Buffy in there. And yeah. So yeah, the universe is going to tumble into chaos. Anyway, Buffy goes to talk to Dawn, and Dawn's sad. She's like, well, it's kind of sad and sucks to hear the truth of the whole situation. You know, I'm a key. I'm an instrument that will send the world into chaos. Mondays, am I right? And Buffy's like, yeah, it's pretty wild, but don't worry about it. I still love you. Like, what? Why? What's going on?
Well,
here?
I think this is the point where Gregor is saying we got to destroy the key, and then Buffy's like, before that, Buffy's like, she's a human now. Like, you can't just kill her because she's a human now, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, whatever, right? Now, my issue is, as much as Buffy cares for Dawn, it's a weird mindfuck gaslighting by the monks situation. The monks made her care about Dawn so that she would protect the key.
Yeah.
They didn't say, oh, the key needs to survive because they didn't give a reason for the monks don't have a counter reason yet for why destroying the key is a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if the monks are like, no, the Knights of Byzantium want to destroy the key. This demon wants to get the key to cause something, and you need to protect the key because the key is the only way that will save the apocalypse or something. Like, that's the next thing that has to come up. Otherwise, it's just... Yeah.
Or if you destroy the key, a bunch of other bad stuff will happen.
Yeah, something like that. Like, it needs to have that little balance of weight. But right now, it's like, hey, we just fucked with your mind and made you care about something. Like, it's like an abusive relationship. It's like someone not being able to break up with someone because they've like been gaslit and like manipulated.
I mean, this is kind of a similar situation to when Buffy had to kill Angelus.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Angelus was actively doing evil, and Buffy had to get over the fact that, like, it wasn't Angel anymore. And she was like, you know what? I gotta do what I gotta do. Kills Angel, stabs him, sends him to hell.
When he was Angel.
You gotta do that. Or, yeah.
I mean, he had turned back, yeah.
You gotta do that with Dawn, dude. Like, you gotta do that.
Here's the thing. If you killed Dawn, would you just forget about her?
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know how, I don't know how any of these powers work.
Yeah. She's a human now, Vance. We can't kill her.
All right. Yeah. Let's just destroy the dimensions.
I mean, but dude, like, fucking is she human? She's still the key.
She's the key, but she's in human form. Well, she's got the memories. Like, I'm saying Buffy has the memories of growing up with this girl. Like, her mind is fucked. Like, it's no different than Glory sticking her fingers in in Tara's head. Like,
yeah,
the monks just did that without trying to make her crazy, but they planted a seed that this is her sister. And I get it. It's tough. And it would be trickier. I think this would be more interesting if we had watched 2 seasons with Dawn. And then we were watching it and like we were like, okay, and then they were like, hey, she's not your sister. Like, if instead of like the sister randomly shows up one day, if the sister, and I get it for the story and whatever, the way they did it, but if we had saw her for 2 seasons or whatever, like she moved into town, she was staying with the dad, right? And we saw her for 2 seasons, she was just this annoying little sister, she was getting in the way, and then like 2 seasons later we found out she was the key. We'd be like, fuck, dude, you can't kill her. Like, we know her.
Yeah.
But we were already on the edge, at least us watching it. We were already like, what is this person? Is she a demon? Is she bad? So we don't have the connection that we would have with, say, someone like Willow, Giles, Xander, the main crew.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm very much in the camp. I always get pissed about this when it happens in like zombie movies, like when a loved one turns into a zombie and the person's like, I can't kill him. It's still my... Fuck that, dude. I'm shooting that shit.
I think this one's a little different because Dawn does not look different. She does not seem to have any powers. Like right now, like when you see Willow's eyes go black, you go, all right.
I'm gonna have to
keep an eye on that one.
Put a pin on that. Yeah, that looks crazy. She opened up the darkest magic book. Okay, that's a little concerning. We'll get to that after this whole Gloria situation. We'll talk about that.
She's also done spells on us that made us fall in love with people and do weird things. Maybe don't piss off Willow.
Let's keep an eye on Tara too. Made us all blind to demons that one time because she was concerned about if she was a demon. You know what? Buffy's got to be like Batman and keeping a file on like how to defeat everyone. It's like Xander. I'll just punch him.
Yeah. Don't make a wish around Anya. Good. Check.
Buffy is trying to comfort Dawn about you might be an instrument that will open the dimensions and turn shit into chaos, but you're still my sister and I swear I'm gonna protect you, I promise. And I'm like, okay.
And then she stabbed her.
I wish, dude. So then we go back to the other Scoobies and Tara is acting all wild. She's acting all crazy. Byzantium leaders starts talking to Dr. Intern Ben. He's like, yo, you're not affiliated with any of these people, right? You're not a part of this. What are you doing here? Like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, and he's like, I'm just here to help. I'm here. I'm Dr. Intern Ben. Don't worry about it.
I'm just the chillest, most relaxed, most cool and calm person ever. I walked into a room where a guy was bleeding out. There's knights outside, and there's a guy tied to a post. And I'm completely fine.
And then the General Gregor goes, would you die for them? And he's like, Ben's like, whoa, that's a little wild question. I don't know. Nobody here is going to die. Don't worry about it. Everything's chill.
Yeah.
And then Gregor goes, hey, look, dude, you can spare and save everyone's lives if you just kill one person. If you kill the key. And then Ben's like, oh, yeah, he's right. I could do that. Oh, let me look suspicious for 2.5 seconds, and then I'm going to go check on Giles.
Yeah.
And then so he's checking on Giles, and Dawn comes up. She's like, how's he doing? Is he doing all right? And Ben's like, yeah, he's doing all right, but we need to get him to a hospital stat. And then Ben looks over at her, and he looks suspicious again. And he goes, sneaks up behind Dawn. And he grabs a syringe and he's filling it up. And it's like, oh, Ben's got that in him. He's got that dog in him, dude. He's going to kill fucking Dawn to save humanity. I like this wrinkle. I like where this is going. And it looks all menacing. And then he just puts the syringe in Giles.
Yeah. He had the line. He's like, terrible things happen to good people. Flick, flick, needle, needle, right behind her. And Dawn doesn't even turn away to look at him. And I was really waiting for Buffy to grab his hand right before he injected Dawn.
and then be like, what the hell are you doing, Ben? And he's like, I was just trying to save the universe and dimensions. But yeah, so he puts the thing in to Giles, puts a syringe into Giles, and Dawn's like, what's up with that? And he's like, don't worry, it's just like a little bit of drugs to make him feel better. Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then Dawn's like, so you know that I'm the key, right? And then Ben's like, oh no, I got a headache. Why'd you say that?
Yeah, I expected there to be a little acknowledgement in this, but it didn't seem like there was any acknowledgement of, like, we know that he knows she's the key.
Yeah.
But there's no acknowledgement of Dawn knowing that he's Glory.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is what I was pissed about.
Yeah, even when he's starting to change, I thought she was going to be like, Buffy, we got to go. like
oh,
something.
shit, I remember that.
Yeah.
Nope. So Ben starts to change. He's getting his headache that's going to morph him into Glory.
Did he have a plan of how this wouldn't happen? Because it doesn't seem like he has a lot of control over it.
Yeah. Like, this was the dumbest thing that Dr. Intern Ben could have done. But he's just after that sweet, sweet Buffy ass, I guess. I don't know.
Like, he doesn't care about Giles at all.
No. He has no connection to anyone except for Buffy.
Yeah.
And it's
Dawn.
like a tenuous. Yeah, Dawn too. But like, he's interacted with Buffy like very little. He's interacted with Dawn even less, but he knows that she's very important.
But he knows he could turn into Glory. Like, it's great for tension of the scene and of the show. But I don't understand why Ben showed up without, like, maybe if he tried to inject himself, because he mentioned drugs earlier, it might be able to keep her at bay. Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like Incredible Hulk, where he's like, how do I stop myself from turning? You know, like, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like any person that is two people, you know, like, how do I get this to stop happening?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Ben runs down into the basement where Gregor and Buffy and Spike and Xander are, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. You gotta let me out. Open the door. You gotta let me out of here. And Buffy's like, chill. What's going on, dude? What's happening?
Well, it looks like I only opened the door when Buffy sternly asked me to.
And then he's like, no, you don't understand. I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to get out of here. And they're like, why? It's chill here. We got rations. We got Willow. We got this guy tied up. Like, everything's chill.
Anya's making omelets in the back.
And he's like, no, you don't get it. Turns into Glory. And then they're like, oh, we should have let him out. We should have let him out of here.
Yeah.
And then Glory comes to our world and she's like, oh, well, what do we have here? Looks like little Ben figured something out here. This is a fun situation, isn't it? And then somebody throws like a hubcap at her, like a shield or whatever.
No, she sees
Does she
Gregor.
grab a shield?
She sees Greg. She sees General Gregor. He's like, oh, the beast. And then she's like,
Yeah.
oh, Gregor. And she grabs a hubcap and she frisbees it across the room and it kills Gregor. I thought it was going to take his head off and I was excited for that, but it just goes into his midsection and kills him. But she just wakes up and kills the dude.
I love that you recognize him. Oh, hey, Gregor.
Yeah. Zoink.
Discus throws that fucking head cap and just, he's done. He's murked.
Yeah, he's just, yeah.
Yeah. So she kills that guy real quick. Mm-hmm. Spike goes after her and he gets worked. He just gets tossed, dude. Yeah. Buffy goes after her. She gets tossed too.
He's the only one that can help.
Yeah. They get punched and then Glory's got Dawn and she's like, all right, got the key. I'm heading out. She goes to head out and she runs into Willow's barrier and she's like, oh, this is a minor inconvenience. Just punches her way through that.
Yeah. I was like, that's awesome that she can just punch through this thing.
Yeah, that the clerics were working on for hours and hours and hours. She just punches through it, takes Dawn. Buffy runs out. She runs into the barrier, and then she's like, Willow, fucking take this shit down, dude. Like, what are you doing? Willow's like, you're right. You're asking very nicely, politely. I'm going to take it down.
She's like, Forsfildicus, Begonicus.
And I think that she has big black eyes in this one, too.
Yeah.
So she takes it down, and as she's like walking by, everybody notice, or as Buffy's like chasing after Glory and some of the Scoobs, everybody starts to notice that all of the Knights of Byzantium are fucking dead.
Which is crazy. Because we've seen Glory fight. Like, she fought the Scoobies in a hospital room.
Yeah.
And none of them died.
Yep. But we've seen her fight the Knights of Byzantium, too. And it wasn't like, I can kill 60 of these guys in 1 second.
Yeah. Like, what are the Knights of... The Knights of Byzantium don't have any skills.
I wrote they're either all dead or all crazy. Like they either got all their minds melted.
It looks like they're all dead. It looks like they're all dead and one guy's dying. But yeah. It's amazing that she did that with Dawn.
Right? Just by her side.
Yeah, she's like, Dawn, sit down. I'm going to beat up all these people with my super speed that got introduced this episode.
Yeah. But like also, how long did it take Buffy to get outside after Glory got outside? You know,
I mean, the force field is see-through.
Yeah.
So you would be able to just see it all. I don't know. It's like one of those ratcheted up things where it makes Glory even more dangerous than you thought before. And I'm like, she's fine. Like, I don't need her to kill all the Byzantium. Buffy was about to fight all of them.
Yeah.
And she probably would have won somehow.
Dude, the Knights of Byzantium were worthless except for giving us key information about. I keep doing that. I use the word key a lot, apparently. But yeah, they see that all the Knights are dead. Spike's like, let's get to the car. We gotta get to the car. We gotta find out where Glory's going. And all the Scoobies start running to the car, and Buffy just sits down. She's like, I'm fucking overmatched. I am going to sit down for a second and I am going to cry. And Willow is next to her and she's like, Buffy, get up. Buffy, let's go. This is not the time to sit down. Well, let's get up.
Yeah.
And that is where it ends.
There's a lot of sit down and cry in this season.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that it's not rightfully so, but there's just a lot of like, oh no, let's just fall down and cry moments in this season.
There's a lot of shit going on, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that's really the end of the season. Glory's about to open the dimensions.
Yep.
Dawn is going to be crushed into like a coal-like key, and we'll see all the green light come out of her.
Can't wait. Oh, wait, fuck. There's another episode after this.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. What's it called?
Yeah. It's called The Weight of the World.
Who has the weight of the world on their shoulders?
I think it's Glory, because she's got to open all these dimensions.
Well, she only has to open one, and it'll cause all the other ones to do it.
Yeah, I think he said that once the key is activated, all of the dimensions are.
I mean,
what a wild dude!
I could sit there.
Dawn.
I could sit there and talk to the general for hours to find out more information. Like, honestly, like you're finally getting some information. Like, all right, so what? How did the monks get the key? And I do love in all the like fiction. It's always like this random item that should never existed, like Lord of the Rings. They forged these rings to control. It's like, just stop doing that. Stop making this stuff that you can't control. I mean, I can't even really say it. Like, we're creating AI that might take over the world, but
oh yeah, dude.
So
we're
like,
fucked.
But it's like, oh, this key that can rule this ring that rules everything, this key that opens dimensions. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what is the?
I love that you're so. Just stop doing that.
Just stop. Just stop it, people. Just stop making the weapons. Like Oppenheimer. Let's just keep making shit.
Yeah. But Weight of the world. I mean, I feel like this is pretty straightforward. We're going to get Buffy and Dawn and Glory dust up. Do you think that she's going to beat Glory in this episode, or do you think it's going to come in?
Yeah, it's got to be the final. It would be nice because we got 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be nice if it happened this episode, and then we can get we can get Restless Part 2.
Yeah. Our favorite episode.
Yeah. Really, you only need like the first half of the last episode to be like but normally, I mean, it's tricky because most TV now you have that penultimate episode where like you wrap stuff up. You wrap up the main villain story, and then the last episode is like the aftermath of it.
The aftermath and the cliffhanger that's supposed to entice you for the next season.
Yeah. I'm more curious of how Dawn is going to survive most of this episode. It's going to be like, well, I can't open the key until this thing happens. Like, you know?
Like, how long does it take for Glory to activate the key?
Or, like, is it one of those things where she can't even kill Dawn until she uses it? Because if she kills Dawn, the key's done? Because, right, like, they want to kill Dawn, right?
Yeah, the Knights do.
So if they kill Dawn, then that key is destroyed. So I don't think Glory can kill Dawn. So that's going to be her, like, way to get out of the way to survive. And, like, we have time. And
I'm curious to see how she has to activate the key. Does she, like, mind melt Dawn and then she turns into a key?
Yeah. And then Giles is going to read something in a book and be like, well, the key can't be activated until the crescent moon and that's in, like, 5 hours. Yeah. And I was like, Giles, you figured that out now? You've had all season.
I can't wait to see the first half of how Glory is supposed to activate the key, and then not the conclusion because Buffy's gonna thwart her, foil her plan. But you're gonna see like the first half of like Glory's starting to make the spell happen that's gonna activate it, and then all the Scoobies are gonna rush in and use the power of love in order to fucking stop her.
they're Care Bears all of a sudden.
Yeah. They're going to put all their Captain Planet rings together. That's what they did with the first Slayer. That's what happened.
Adam was too powerful, this demon machine. That dude. I will say this. That is Buffy's kryptonite. A demon, a human, and a robot all together. That's tough. Yeah. That's tough for her. I think Dr. Intern Ben is definitely going to play a role in this.
Yeah, he has to.
And I think that hot flirty Jinx is going to get what she likes. She's going to make out
female Jinx.
She's going to make. I think he's going to like manipulate her into giving him some clues.
Ooh, okay.
Flirt with Gronks.
Gronks.
I love that they keep introducing new minions.
I know, it's way too late in the game to do this. Like, I'm trying to do a podcast about, I don't know these people's names, dude. Come on.
Podcasts weren't big when this came out.
I know.
Now all TV shows are just perfectly suited for podcasting.
Well, that's the episode of Spiral. You got anything else to say about this one?
No, I think we touched on the whole, like, would you kill Dawn thing? And did Dawn know about Dr. Intern Ben? I feel for Buffy. She's been mind molested.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate it. Stick around for the rest of season 5 and beyond. If you want to get a shout out, 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review, or 5-star Spotify rating, send it to my DMs at Joe. I'll get a screenshot of that. Join our Discord. We'll have some chatter about this episode for sure. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. Instagram, @Boys Watching Buffy. Email, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And, stay tuned for next time when we talk about The Weight of the World.
There must be something in the Book of Tarnis that we've missed, something that we can use against Glory.
Piano.
Because that's what we used to kill that big demon that one time. No, wait, that was a rocket launcher. On? What are you talking about?
We should drop a piano on her. Well, it always works for that creepy cartoon rabbit when he's running from that nice man with a speech impediment.
Yes, or perhaps we could paint a convincing tunnel on the side of a mountain. Let's just keep thinking, everyone.
Seltzer Kings
podcasts.